everyone, my name is Tori, this is Novel Life, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have some jealous, possessive, and obsessive heroes to share with you. So I know a lot of my friends have recently done this, and I think I've only made one other video with like possessive and obsessive heroes, but I've read some really good books with some heroes that just take it to the next level with how jealous they are, how obsessive they are with the heroine, and how possessive they are. I'll just say that. So I wanted to sit down and do a romance recommendations video and just talk about some of these heroes because I really love them. So let's just go ahead and jump in to the romance recommendations. But first, make sure you check the description box for my friends' videos. I know Sam has recently done it. I think Cheyenne has. I think Jess has. Like I said, a lot of people that I follow have done it. So definitely check out the description box for all the videos because they definitely have some really good recommendations in those videos as well. So for the first book that I want to talk about, it is Her Shadows, His Secrets by C.C. Monroe. So I got this as a recommendation from Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girl, and I was like hesitant to start it. I was like, I've never read anything by this author. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. I really did love it. Basically, in this book, our hero obviously has secrets, and those don't come out until like the very end of the book, but our female character, she has a stalker that is following her, and she goes to a different town. Take it away from it. It's a small town, and there she meets our hero, and he just like is one of those heroes that is like possessive and obsessive in like a low-key way, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes like a whole lot of sense, but like it like slowly comes out because of what's going on with her, if that makes sense. So like he's trying to make sure she stays safe, and that's why he's so possessive and obsessive with her. And I just really liked this book. I think that while the audiobook is available, I wouldn't recommending reading it by audio. I personally did not like the narrators, and I think if I physically read this book, I would have liked it a hell of a lot better. But the audio, the narrators just weren't the best, specifically the female one. So that's the only reason why I say don't listen to the audiobook, even though I did. I just feel like the physical book or ebook would be better to read. The next book I have is, if you've read it, is not going to come as a surprise, and that is Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. Now, I recently read this. It is a new release, and while it has been going around specifically on Book Talk and Bookstagram and stuff like that, some people have talked about it here on Booktube, but because it's a new release, it hasn't like gotten that much hype yet. Well, I did enjoy this book because Christian is jealous, obsessive, and protective, all of the above, all at the same time constantly. I felt like the book was long. So while I do recommend it, just know that this is an extremely long book. It is a slow burn romance all the way. This follows Stella, who is a blogger. She has almost 1 million followers, subscribers to her blog, and she just is trying to like get that push to like further her career, get more sponsorships, be a brand ambassador and stuff like that. And we do see Christian in the last book in the Twisted series, so Twisted Hate, we get like a glimpse of him, and immediately I was like, I need to know who this dude is. I have to know who he is, what he's doing, why he's here, why is he doing all this? Now, there was one scene in particular in Twisted Lies where I was like, this girl has Christian wrapped around his fucking finger. Like, he will literally do anything for her. When I mean literally anything, I literally mean anything. So she has this stalker. It comes out that she has this stalker, and that's why she kind of moved into this apartment. Well, it's his building, but it has high security, or it's supposed to. And I felt like because of that aspect, his like jealous and possessive and protectiveness is like times 1,000 once he finds out. Like, he's already that kind of hero that likes to make sure that the person he's with is protected. He's always jealous if someone tries to talk to her, but it's like next level, and I love it. So if you haven't read Twisted Lies or continued with the Twisted series to make your way to Twisted Lies, I highly suggest you do. While Twisted Lies is not my top favorite, it is still one of my favorites of the series because you get to see all the other characters from the other 3 books, and it wraps it up pretty nicely. So I do like that. Not gonna lie, I do like that. The next book I have is one that I've constantly talked about, and that's Ivy by Willa Nash. So this one is like low-key protective and jealous and obsessive. The only reason why I say that is because this book follows 3 different romances. So how do I say this? The heroes in this book, the 3 heroes for the 3 females in this book, because it follows, like I said, 3 different love stories. They are jealous, obsessive, and possessive, but my absolute favorite in this book is Zane. So Zane is one of the heroes. Alora is Ivy's friend or roommate that she's been rooming with, I think, for the whole time in college, and they're seniors now. And Zane is Ivy's older brother, so there's like that forbidden aspect there. But like, he has this like, I don't know what to call it. They just have had a history, and you really get to see it, that he has this like low-key possessiveness. He does own a club, and so when Alora goes, he's like constantly keeping an eye out on her. So that's what I mean, like low-key. It doesn't come out because there's not like a one instance where it's like he has to be super jealous and protective and obsessive, but you can tell he's like that on the inside, and he just makes for like such a confident character, for such a sexy character. He also is on a motorcycle. I've talked about him in my Bad Boys on Bikes romance recommendations, and yeah, I really love him. I love, that he's like so mysterious, and he like doesn't always talk. I don't know, I just feel like he's so mysterious. The other characters are my favorite, the other heroes I should say are my favorite, but I feel like Zane is like the top one that I want to mention in this one. But it's a thick book, but I promise you, if you read it, everyone who's read it because I've talked about it has really loved it and said like, yes, 4 or 5 stars, so good, such a great book, definitely worth it. Yeah, so I highly suggest you pick up this one. If you take any of these recommendations, pick up this one, please. Okay, the next book I have is going to be one that you're going to be like, what? How is that? And that is Give Me More by Sarah Kate. So this is the 3rd book in the Salacious Player series, and I feel like I could have picked the other books in this series, specifically Eyes on Me, but I wanted to talk about this one because I love the dynamic in this book of the characters. So this is in, do I say it's MFM, but kind of MMF at the same time. It's a polyamorous relationship. I wouldn't put like an MMF or MFM label on it, only because I just think it's polyamorous. Basically, in this book, we have a married couple, and his kink is to watch his wife being fucked by his best friend. I don't know how to say it other than that. That's his kink. It's called cuckold. I forgot the word. It's like in here and they describe it or whatever. Anyway, so he has this thing where he wants his best friend to, be with his wife, and he wants to watch. And it slowly turns into, oh, I want to join. I want to do that with you. So there's some moments with all of the characters. But there's like one point where, of course, her husband is actually really possessive and jealous over her because that's his wife, and he doesn't want anyone else to touch her or talk to her or anything but his best friend. But there is a part in here where I fell in love with the best friend because he and her go to this club together while the other man is in a meeting. Her husband's in a meeting, and someone like tries to come up to her, and he's like, no. Like he like make sure no one goes near her. And it's this like natural possessiveness that he has, and he's like, I need to make sure for my best friend that his wife is okay, but on the inside it's kind of like, no, because I feel something for her too. And I thought that was like top tier, so good. I was like, ooh, I ate it up. It was really, really good. Like I said, this is the 3rd book in the Salacious Player series. Technically you could read it as a standalone, but I suggest reading them in order just because I feel like you get the most because you see all the characters. But like I said, you could read it as a standalone if you really wanted to. This one's so good. I love the dynamic in here. Sarah Kate, man, she knows what she's doing. I'll just say that. She knows what she's doing. The next book I have is Liar by Fiona Cole. So this one I recently read. I've been making my way through Fiona Cole's books, and I feel like all of her books in this Voyeur series, they could be all possessive and obsessive and protective heroes, but in particular, I feel like in this book, it really comes out. This is an uncle's best friend romance. So her uncle is basically like another father figure to her. She does have a father that she like talks to and stuff like that, but he is just like another father to her. And his best friend, him and her have a thing like 2 years prior, right? There is a novella, I haven't read that, but it's mentioned in the book. They had like a thing at Voyeur in the hallway, and then they went their separate ways. Well, now that she is interning, I think, for his company, they are forced together, so forced proximity, they're forced to work together. And the way that he acts, because, okay, there's a huge age gap, but the way that he acts is like he's like on her level. And I know that sounds really bad. Not that he's like immature, but he just is like, he should be confident and stuff like that. But anytime anyone comes near her, he's just like, no. He's like, no, you are mine. No one is going to touch you. No one else can flirt with you. No one else can like basically come in your bubble, in your space, and you just have to say fuck off to everyone. And I personally really, really enjoyed that, only because like I just love when a hero does that. I love when they like take it to the next level, because it like makes me all giddy inside. I'm like, ooh, you know, just like grab her and just tell her like, no, you're mine. No one else is gonna get you. And yeah. I just really like this one. Like I said, it's an uncle's best friend, so it's like one of those like dad's best friend romances because it's her father figure. So good, so steamy. And they're on the shorter side. Like I think the audiobooks are about 7 hours for this whole series. Each book is about 7 hours, so you can get through them pretty quickly. The next book I have that I also have not shut up about is The Words by Ashley Jade. So this book is also very, very thick. And I was really intimidated to start this book, but I promise you, I really do promise you, this book is worth it. These characters need 700 pages to get through all of their shit. Now, this is a rock star romance. He becomes famous. You see, like, there's the before. So you see the beginning part of it when they're younger in high school and they become friends. So our female character is a plus-size female, and I really like the representation of that. And then you see the after his friends do some things, and it's like basically he's kind of involved with it, and it's basically unforgivable to her. So she says like, fuck off, you go away. You know, I'm not going to deal with you anymore. And then like years later, he's a rock star. He is really having a rough time partying, alcohol, all of that stuff. And so their manager goes to her and is like, I heard that you hate him. You despise him. You are not going to fall for his tricks of let's have sex, or, you know, the way that he is with women. So I need you to come on tour with us and make sure that he doesn't get into trouble. Like, he needs to clean up his image. He can't keep doing this. And so, yes, it's forced proximity. They go on tour together. And when I tell you there's another bandmate that tries to like make a move on her, and he doesn't like, he realizes there's this constant tug of war back and forth between them. But when he realizes that, he loses it. He's like, no. He's like, I will literally kill him. I will make his life like horrible. I will kick him out of this band. Like, no, you cannot go on a date with him. You cannot do anything with him. If I see it, I'm going to lose my shit. And I just love that, because it's one of those things you don't realize, or he doesn't realize like how possessive and protective he is over her until he like really sees it. But also until he sees her with someone else, but you kind of see it at the beginning when they're younger too. He has this like sense of protectiveness and obsessiveness with her, but it's because he thinks of her as a friend. He just like, it's a friends to enemies to lovers. I'll just say that. The next book I have is Owned by a Sinner by Michelle Hurd. So this one is very jealous and protective, a little obsessive, but the other two top tier. There's a glare because it's shiny. And I will say Liam takes it to the next level because something happens to her. So something happens to our female character at his brother's company, and he finds out about it, and then he's like, oh, I'm going to take you to my house, and I'm going to make sure nothing bad ever happens to you. So it is kind of workplace. He's in the mafia. I think he's head of the Irish mafia, and his stepbrother, it's not even his half-brother, his stepbrother owns this company, or lets his brother run this company, and she starts working a receptionist. Something happens, and he makes sure that she's safe and secure, and then there's secrets that come out about exactly who she is later, and it just makes it so much better. I love this book. This was a 5-star read. I was obsessed with the hero. Like, I was obsessive and protective over the hero and heroine in this book, and I loved it. I think that he takes it to the next level, and it was so damn good. So dang it. So worth it. The last one I have is The Ritual by Chantal Tessier. Tessier? However you pronounce her name. Now, this one I actually kind of forgot about until I went through my Goodreads, my Reds list, and I was like, oh yeah. So this one is a little bit of a different jealous and possessive and obsessive hero, because this whole aspect is very, very, very hard to explain for me. So basically, our female character, she is with this guy named Michael. I think his name is Michael right now. They have like a thing. They're in college, but Michael and this other guy, our hero in this case, is involved in this like ritual, in this not cult. I don't want to call it a cult because that's really bad. It's not that. It's just like this elite group, like membership basically, and they are chosen. They have like a woman that's chosen for them. They have to stay like celibate for 3 years, and then their senior year they get to do whatever they want with the female character. And that's where a hero and heroine come into play, and they are forced together because of that. They don't get to choose. Someone chooses for them. Technically, you found out it's her father that chooses, but yeah, he doesn't realize how possessive and obsessive he is over her until that moment where he has her, and he's like, once I've had you, no one else can have you. You're mine, and I'm never gonna let you go. And he literally takes it to like the next level. It's a lot. There's a lot of trigger warnings in here. So if you need them, definitely message me. I can't think of them right off the top of my head. I think they're in my Goodreads review, but definitely message me if you need them. I will make sure you get them. But I really love this book. It was extremely dark, and I just really ate it up, honestly. But those are my jealous, obsessive, and possessive romance recommendations. You can let me know if you have any recommendations in the comments down below for me. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content from me. As always, I hope you're living a novel life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.